Greetings, my name is Etienne, and this is my story. I teach African American history honors, great men and women of color who shape world history, Black student union leadership, and history and contributions of Haiti in a global context. I also sponsor the Black Student Union Club, Kosher Food Club, Haitian Club, and Project Men. Black History Month is important to me because history matters and representation matters. When I was in high school, I didn't really know who I was simply because I didn't know my history. But now I'm in a position where I can teach my students passionately, knowing that they don't have to be in a situation where they feel lost. It gives us a sense of unity, sense of history and direction. We're all connected and we're all affected, so I think it's important for all students to know their history. We're so future-oriented that, history is really a thing of the past, and we really lose out because, we get frustrated a lot, not having that patience when we think about those who paved the way for us and what they had to endure. So I think it's important for students during Black History Month to really tap into that history, pay attention to the lessons more so. I truly believe education sheds light on the truth. One of the greatest American heroes, in my opinion, in my book, is Harriet Tubman. And she says, I freed over 1,000 slaves. I could have freed 1,000 more if only they knew they were slaves. So again, education gives you that self-worth, that efficacy that you need to conquer ahead and not be, ignorant to where you can be easily manipulated. So in teaching my students, I don't teach them what to think, but to think. Frederick Douglass says, a man with knowledge is not fit to be a slave. I think that we become, really become our own person and have more self-worth when we're educated. We become, better, let's say, critical thinkers, problem solvers. And again, it's education that bridges that gap, that allows me to connect with them just as if, I was sitting in that seat. One of my inspirations in life is my late great dad, Alberto Etienne. And he took me to Haiti some 13 years ago. And it was my first time in Haiti. And I was overjoyed being in Haiti for the first time. But at the same time, I was blown away to see how people were able to maintain with not having a lot. Where we're from in Haiti is in the north, and it's a city called Port-au-Paix. But then when I had to, take a bath, it was a process. It was a process where we had to get the water because the water was not available in the home, so we didn't have running water there in Haiti. Then after getting the water, we had to boil the water so that it's safe, so it wasn't, contaminated using the water like that. And then we had to wait for the water to cool off, and then use a sponge bucket to take our bath. So it was this whole process, as opposed to being here in the States where you go into the bathroom and you can just turn the water, flick of the wrist, and it just springs out at your convenience instantly. So it just really humbled me being there in Haiti for the first time to see where my dad is from, my family's from, and how they came to America to give us a better life. So I am in no position to take this for granted. So I am appreciative of the things that, my dad did for me, and I honor him every day I show up at work and teach my students the way he taught me. Frederick Douglass, who was born a slave and became an abolitionist and powerful rhetorician. And it's just so inspiring to see how someone who was born into slavery could just become such a influential leader, simply because I use that, with myself, and I sometimes evaluate myself, like, what is my excuse for not, doing my best, knowing that, my situation is not as difficult as it was for someone like a Frederick Douglass, who had to deal with such a harsh reality. And reading his autobiography was definitely the turning point, I want to say, in my life. So when I teach my students about Frederick Douglass, they can really see how passionate I am. I have definitely had obstacles in my life. I'm a meningitis survivor. In college, I caught meningitis. Prior to catching meningitis, I've never heard of the infection. And I was really at a low point simply because recovery took some time. I had lost a tremendous amount of weight. I had to undergo physical therapy. I had to learn how to walk again. I was completely deaf at the time. And that was really a low point in my life. But then again, it was also inspiring to see that I was able to, endure such, pain. My message to students who are struggling in school is to hang in there. You have to be that patient. And it's a balance between patience and persistence. Time is everything, and everything takes time. So know that it's not going to happen overnight, but it's easy to give up and give in. So if you show up every day and, put in that effort, then you certainly will achieve. In my classroom or my board, I have the word interest. And I would tell students from day one that if you are interested in this course, it's going to be that easier for you to do well. No different than if you're interested in something or interested in someone. You're going to know more about that thing or more about that person. Better yet, how do banks usually make their money? It's interest. So it pays to have interest. Old West African proverb, Sankofa. Sankofa is, it is not taboo to go fetch what is at risk of being left behind. So it's important for you to know where you're from, to know where you're going, and that's direction. My name is Mackerel Etienne, a.k.a. Mr. E, a.k.a. Mystery, and Black history is American history, as American history is world history.